Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I talk about the NWSL, women's soccer, just soccer, only soccer. Before I begin, I just want to say Happy New Year, Happy 2023, for now. Anyway, it's that wonderful time of year where the US women's national team roster drops for the 2023 January camp and friendlies. The US will be taking on New Zealand in 2 friendlies overseas, very exciting. The first friendly is going to be Tuesday, January 17th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the second friendly will be Friday, January 20th, also at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 2 after dark matches to kick off the new year. Perfectly chaotic. If you don't know, in the NWSL, we call matches that take place at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, NWSL After Dark. Usually when it comes to After Dark matches, the weirdest crap happens. Fouls, yellow cards, red cards, injuries, storms, Jalen Howell making this face after Ashley Hatch shoved a Colombian player's face in a friendly against Colombia last year. Yeah, just really chaotic stuff, but it's usually a great time. So when it comes to this January camp roster, I don't really know what to expect. There are players I'm expecting to see back like Sophia Smith, Lindsay Horan, Rose Lavelle, Alex Morgan, Andy Sullivan, Trinity Rodman, Mal Pugh, Megan Rapinoe, Becky Sauerbrunn, and so on, but we might see players returning from injury in the upcoming months. Kat Macario is still recovering and going through rehabilitation, but over break I heard she may be ready to come back in February or March, which will be great for the US and also great for our Leon overlords. We could also see Kristen Press, Tobin Heath, Sam Mewis, Lynn Williams, Emily Sonnet, Kelly O'Hara, Casey Kruger, who was pregnant, or Abby Dalkemper in the upcoming months too. A cool player I would like to see get called up is Mia Fishel, IFFHS's Women's World Best Top Division goal scorer for 2022 with 33 goals for Tigres in the Liga MX Femenil. Another player I would like to see on this January roster is Tierna Davidson. Tierna was out last season due to injury, but around November and December, she was training with the German team VfL Wolfsburg while they were going through their season and Champions League run. Tierna is an experienced defender, and the US, if they want to be successful in the World Cup this summer, has to work on their defending. The backline did well in their second friendly against Germany last year, but they need to be more consistent with their defending. When it comes to these friendlies against New Zealand, defense may not be a big concern. I can see the US controlling and maintaining possession for both of these matches. The last time the US played against New Zealand was in the She Believes Cup last year, and the US came away with a 5-0 win. 3 of those goals being own goals off New Zealand's Michaela Moore. Yeesh, that was honestly rough to watch. Still remember it. But still, I think with Davidson coming back, she could provide more stability and experience in the backline, which is definitely needed. Anyway, let's get into the January roster, starting with the goalkeepers. For goalkeepers, Adie Franch, Casey Murphy, and Alyssa Nair. I was kind of expecting it would be those 3, Franch, Murphy, and Nair. Franch was called up to the friendlies against Germany last year, but she didn't start in any of the matches. Maybe she'll get to start in one of the matches against New Zealand. Murphy is still good, but when it comes to Murphy, I think communication needs to be better between her and her backline. I'm not saying she needs to yell at her backline for existing like German keeper Merle Froms will sometimes do, but with better communication, it'll prevent more mistakes made in the backline and defense. I think this can also be applied to Franch and Nair as well. But besides that, goalkeepers are good. Now for the defenders. For defenders, we have Alana Cook, Crystal Dunn, Emily Fox, Naomi Girma, Sophia Huerta, Haley Mace, Becky Sauerbrunn, and Emily Sonnet. Defenders look good for these friendlies against New Zealand. Notice how I specified New Zealand. Honestly, I'm not too concerned about the US's defense in the matches against New Zealand. As I said earlier, I can see the US keeping possession and being on the attack for the majority of both matches. Because of that, I can see Sophia Huerta pushing up in the attack, Emily Fox and Haley Mace as well. I really like seeing Naomi Girma, Haley Mason, Emily Fox in the defense. Those three are solid and aggressive defenders. When it comes to Crystal Dunn, I've heard a lot of people say she wants to be utilized more in the attack and midfield, which is fine, but kind of like Huerta, especially Huerta, Dunn has to make sure the defense isn't left wide open. Gaps in the defense will leave the U.S. exposed and open to the opposing team's attack. When it comes to Huerta, she has to get back there and provide some support to Alana Cook. And speaking of Alana Cook, don't come for me. I love OL Reign and I love Alana Cook, but yeah, she is a solid center back for OL Reign. But when it comes to international games, she does make costly mistakes in the defense, and unfortunately, it's noticeable. She got outpaced by Eula Brand in the first match against Germany, which would lead to a goal for Germany. In the match against England, she miscalculated a dive, couldn't clear the ball, which led to a Lauren Hemp goal. In the match against Spain, both her and Sauerbrunn weren't aware of Esther Gonzalez until it was too late, which led to a goal for Spain. Cook will probably do fine. She'll probably do fine in these matches against New Zealand, but I think for the future, her awareness and accuracy in these international matches needs to be a lot quicker. Heavy attacking teams like France, Spain, Germany, and England are all about movement and speed, and as a center back, she has to be able to keep up with them. I think the difference between OL Reign and the U.S. Women's National Team is when it comes to OL Reign, the whole team will get back there and support the defense. It takes some of that pressure off Cook, whereas when it comes to the U.S., yes, there is support in the defense, but the U.S. backline is expected to, defend on their own. That's just a small thing that I've noticed, though. Lastly, Sauerbrunn and Sonnet, much like with Dunn, will provide good experience in the back line, which is definitely needed. I didn't expect to say this much about the defense and Cook. Again, I think when it comes to these friendlies against New Zealand, the U.S. should be okay. If not, we'll just blame Vlatko as is tradition, amen. Now, on to the midfielders. So, for the midfielders, Sam Coffey, Lindsay Horan, Taylor Korniak, Rose Lavelle, Christy Mewis, Ashley Sanchez, and Andy Sullivan. All right, who wants to bet their two severed hands that Horan and Sullivan are going to start in one, if not both of these matches? Horan and Sullivan are both healthy right now, and the last thing we need are potential injuries before the World Cup. Vlatko uses Horan and Sullivan so much, it's as if he doesn't trust the other midfielders. Sullivan can play Horan's position. Why not reduce their minutes just to be on the safe side? Start Horan in game one, utilize the other midfielders like Mewis, Sanchez, Coffey, Korniak, or Lavelle, then bring Sullivan on in the second half. Then in game two, start Sullivan, utilize the other midfielders, and maybe bring Horan on in the second half. Manage their minutes. Germany and England do it to prevent injury, especially when clubs are in season. I would like to see more of Sanchez and Mewis, especially Mewis. I've seen a lot of people asking why Mewis can't start, and I don't know. That's up to Vlatko. I would start her. Taylor Korniak, she has a really good height advantage, and as other people have said, if the U.S. can find her on crosses, if she can get her head on the ball, if she can start, it'll be great for the U.S.'s attack. Honestly, I would like to see what would happen if Korniak was able to play as a forward. That would be one position I would want her to experiment with. I mean, I've seen coaches switch up their players and teams in weirder ways, like Martina Voss-Tecklenburg of Germany having a very aggressive defender play as a forward for reasons. Having Korniak play as a forward wouldn't be that big of a reach, and I think she would connect more with Alex Morgan. Speaking of Alex Morgan, let's get into the forwards. And for forwards, Ashley Hatch, Alex Morgan, Midge Purce, Trinity Rodman, Mallory Swanson, and Lynn Williams. Before I go any further, I'm happy to announce Mallory Pugh is now married to Dansby Swanson, and Mal Pugh is now Mal Swanson. Like, the number of people I've seen asking where's Mal Pugh and who's Mallory Swanson when she is literally right in the photo is way too many. I've seen a comment on Twitter saying it's too bad Mal Pugh didn't get called up. Not sure who Swanson is. I think they deleted it when someone said Mal took her husband's name. Anyway, let's first start with someone who isn't here. Sophia Smith is recovering from injury. I remember seeing her in a boot over break. I'm not sure what the injury was, but I don't think it was a serious one like a ACL or knee injury. Hopefully she'll be back soon. And speaking of a player who is back from injury, Lynn Williams is back. I'm really looking forward to seeing her in these friendlies against New Zealand. I think these matches will be good for her and will help her ease back into the game. Midge Purse, great to see her again. Alex Morgan would like to see her link up with Korniak. Rodman, I think with Smith being out for now, will be the main focus in these matches against New Zealand. Rodman in the past has said she likes playing with Smith and they both want to work on their chemistry, which is great. Rodman also plays well with Mal, and I'm very interested to see how she'll link up with Williams. Lastly, Ashley Hatch. Has Vlatko figured out what he wants to do with Ashley Hatch? Like, dude, what are your 2023 goals for Ashley Hatch? I've seen people say Hatch is just filler on the national team, and I kind of agree to some extent. But what are his plans for her? During CONCACAF last year, Vlatko said he wanted to work on Hatch's chemistry with Mal and Smith, but he hasn't mentioned anything about it afterwards. Play her with Rodman and Mal, play her with Williams and Purse, play her with Rodman and Purse. Like, do something with Hatch. It's the new year, and these are friendlies against New Zealand. May as well try to experiment and see what works and doesn't work, who works and doesn't work. That all being said, that is all I have for you guys today or tonight. Happy New Year. I'll post any updates in a pinned comment below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.